Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It is fantastic that you are here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on music legend Bob Dylan. This guy has influenced so many people, it is not funny. The Beatles, Beach Boys, Rolling Stones, a whole heap of people this guy's influenced because he started in the early 1960s, and one of the big things he did is he went from being an acoustic artist to more electric in 1965, and the world certainly took notice of that at that particular time. Well, we're just going to go on with Bob Dylan a little bit more today, because he is such an iconic figure in the music industry. So stay with me for the next little while, that'd be great. Now, to talk about Bob Dylan, there are a couple of songs in particular we need to talk about, but before we get on to that, I thought I would actually list some of the accolades and awards he has received from many places in the world, because he is such an iconic figure in the world. So I just need to put the glasses on for this so that I can read the list I've got here. Yes, I do have some notes up on a music stand in front of me here. So that if you find me looking away from the camera, that's the reason. So in 1970, he received an honorary doctorate from Princeton University. Honorary doctorates are pretty cool. That means like a PhD. 1973, he had 8 songs that were culturally significant, inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Now, he'd only been going for 10 years plus at this point, so it just goes to show his influence. He also a 10-time Grammy Award winner as well. 1980, he received the GMA Dove Award. Now, Dove Award is acknowledging people in the Christian music industry, but they also, as part of the awards, actually have acknowledging artists outside of that industry, and so Bob Dylan got his one for his album Slow Train Coming. 1982, he was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, some 20 years after he started. 1988, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and interestingly, also probably doesn't happen very often, 5 of his songs were also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as being significant songs out of 500 to shape rock and roll. In 1997, he received an honour from the Kennedy Center. That's a very high honour indeed. Bands such as Led Zeppelin and the Eagles have received accolades there. In 1997, also the Dorothy and Lillian Gish Prize. This is an award for contributions to the benefit of mankind, so very much whole of world award. In the year 2000, with the movie Wonder Boys, which he wrote, Things Have Changed, he got both an Academy Award and a Golden Globe Award for that particular song. And also in 2000, he received in Sweden, the Polar Music Prize. This is awarded by Stig Anderson, who was very much behind the scenes with pop geniuses ABBA. In 2002, he was inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. Nashville is a center for music in the US, that is for sure. 2003, he received the Golden Plate Award. This is American Academy of Achievement. In 2004, over in Scotland, he got an honorary doctorate, another one, St. Andrews University. Then 2007, in Spain, the Prince of Asturias Awards. 2008, Pulitzer Prize Special Citations and Awards. 2009, the US Congress decided to award Bob Dylan with the National Medal of Arts. And this was followed by Barack Obama in 2012, the US president at the time, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's a very high order award indeed. In 2012, over in France, he received the French Commander des Arts et Lettres, which was an award in France. And in 2013, he received the French Officer of the Legion d'Honneur. And this was an award that was established by Napoleon Bonaparte. So we're talking a few centuries, actually. And it's an award that the French government had decided to keep going. And so he received an award for that. That's a very high honour indeed, that one. In 2014, he received an award in the UK for the Music Video Awards. And in 2016, and this is probably a very significant award for Bob Dylan in particular, and it's an award that music people just do not get. He received the Nobel Prize for Poetic Expression in Literature. This is how esteemed his lyrics are, how they get us to think, how they get us to contemplate who we are as human beings. Sometimes we need to hear that life is not fair for some people. Sometimes we need governments to hear that life is not fair for some people. And Bob Dylan certainly has done that through his lyrics and his songs. And so to win a Nobel Prize for Literature is a very high honour indeed. So very many awards that Bob Dylan has actually received over his time. Very well received, very well deserved, that is for sure. I'm sure, as an artist, we don't go out looking for awards. I think what happens is you just do your thing. He's had his never-ending tour going on for having over 3,000 shows. You just do your thing, and then if you get an award in the meantime, well, that's just a nice little bonus. But music is your first love, and certainly the case of Bob Dylan, I'm thinking. Now, there are a couple of songs we probably need to talk about with Bob Dylan in particular. And the first one is Knock, Knock, Knocking on Heaven's Door. This is a song that pretty well every cover band in the world actually does. It only has 3 chords in it, but you know what? It doesn't matter because the words need to shine in this particular song. It's one of these songs that people just pause and listen to. I suppose the concept of knocking on heaven's door itself is quite a poignant image when you think about, when we get to the end of our lives and we're knocking on heaven's door. It certainly does have that kind of feel about it. This particular song came from a soundtrack, 1973, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Now, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, Pat was on the side of the law and Billy the Kid was on the other side. And it was very much the story of their friendship and the thing that Pat Garrett had to do. And just a really compelling story. This particular movie also had Bob Dylan in it. So it was great to see the guy who pretty much wrote all the songs for the soundtrack to actually be in the movie. Pretty cool. Now, when I talk about this song being covered, Eric Clapton has covered this song. And surprise, surprise, a little while back, Guns N' Roses covered this song in a very much heavier Guns N' Roses style for Knocking on Heaven's Door. So very much when you hear the song, you just kind of pause a bit and you just think, oh yeah, this song's on. That's right. I've heard it so many times, right? But there's just something about it that I need to listen again. And another song that we need to talk about, this is the first Bob Dylan song I ever heard properly, and that is Blowin' in the Wind. This was one of those songs that got inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame for being a significant song. And so there, it's got that kind of pedigree about it. This came off the 1963 album, The Freewheeling Bob Dylan. Now, when you think blowing in the wind, how many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? This is a song that just has question after question after question after question, and you know, you could spend a whole lifetime contemplating how many roads must a man, I suppose, or woman walk down before you call them an adult or a man or a woman. You can spend your whole life contemplating lyrics such as that one, because Bob Dylan has an act of writing things that get us to think. But he answers it in the question. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Can we control the wind, guys? Nah. Do we know where it comes from? Well, we might know it comes from because we see which way the trees are blowing, but can we control the wind? No, we can't. And I think sometimes the answers that we are just so desperately seeking for as human beings, you know, why am I here? What's the reason that I exist? Why does the world seem so unfair? Why do human beings seem to like to be greedy and power? Why are these things so important sometimes? Why can't we just get on as human beings? Why are there wars? Why can't we just listen to each other better? Why? There are so many questions in Blowing the Wind, and the answer is, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. I think what Bob Dylan is saying is the answers that we're looking for, we'll often find them in the most unusual of places. We're going to find them in places which we weren't expecting to be. They're going to surprise us, these answers. You think we're going to sit down in our chair and work out the answer to how many roads does a man walk down before you call him a man? No. You're going to find out these answers as you live life, as you live the life experiences you're going to have, and then you think, oh, that's the answer to that. I think there's something really, really cool about hanging on to life a little bit loosely here. Hanging on to life with an inquiring mind, an inquisitive mind, maybe a skeptical mind a little bit, and to realise that the answers that we're looking for will come when we least expect them. That's really, really cool. One thing I suppose for me, I experienced a little while back in my job that I've got now, I realised for the first time probably that the fact that I'm doing something that the world needs, I'm doing something that I love, I'm doing something that I suppose I'm good at. I mean, we can always get better at the stuff that we do, but for the first time, because I have been doing those three things a little bit, but for the first time, I'm getting paid for it. And I realised for the first time that I am meant to be doing what I'm meant to be doing right now. It's only taken me 40 years to get there. But, I wasn't looking for this job. The job found me. Blowing in the wind. Very, very powerful. In fact, as I think about that particular image in my head, I'm still quite amazed at how, the job found me. I didn't find it. It's quite amazing how that's happened. And I think if we're true to ourselves sometimes, if we're really, really wanting to make a difference, at some point, the world will take notice and give you the opportunity to do that. So, I suppose at the moment we're in the 2020 Christmas break. That's when I'm recording this video, and we're having a break from it, which is great for a little while, because we need to have a rest sometimes indeed. So I might be able to crank out a few more videos over the next little while. Need to talk about this particular performance of this song. This came from the Live Aid 1985. Now, I talked about Live Aid a little while back about the fact that 1.9 billion people watched these concerts, one in the UK and one in the US. And you can just see when Jack Nicholson, the iconic Jack Nicholson, introduces Bob Dylan, he's very, very excited and humbled to be able to introduce such an iconic guy. And when Bob Dylan just comes out, the curtains are drawn, 3 mics, and we've got Keith Richards and Ron Wood helping him here. The world, for some reason, just at that moment, it just kind of paused for a second to actually listen to this iconic song, Blowing in the Wind. There wasn't a lavish stage production here. There was just 3 guys with 3 guitars, and the world just paused to listen, because Blowing in the Wind very much was in the theme of what Live Aid was about, and that was hunger in Africa. And Bob Dylan was just singing through this very simple but very profound lyrics. Hey guys, why is the world the way it is? So it's almost like the world stopped revolving almost for just a brief second as Bob Dylan sang this song. There's something quite iconic about the songwriter singing this iconic song. So the links to both, first of all, Blowing in the Wind, which is the Live Aid version, and also Knocking on Heaven Door. We've got to have Bob Dylan singing that one. It's funny, you know, that this song, you don't get to hear him sing it that often because everybody else just covers it. But that's a live version of that particular song as well. Bob Dylan's voice is pretty good in both of these as well. He has got such a unique voice, and to hear him singing these songs, it just kind of makes sense. It's like a hand-in-glove experience, that is for sure. And I've also, by the way, included my link to the last video when we looked at Like a Rolling Stone from Bob Dylan, so feel free to recap on that one as well. Well, I trust this has all been an encouragement for you today, and I suppose if you are facing life's questions a little bit at the moment, often the big one is why? You know, sometimes, guys, there is no answer to the why question when we need it. The answer for why happens later when we least expect it often. So I think the best thing that, you know, maybe I can say to any of us out there that are facing the why question is just relax and just let life happen the way it happens. Sometimes life is horrible and traumatic, and the why question is well and truly happening. It may not be an answer for you right now. That's okay. I think one of the reasons why it's happened is because we might have something we need to learn. Even though it's traumatic and horrible and unexpected, sometimes there's something we need to learn. And the why moments certainly provide us with an opportunity to see what we are made of and to see how we can bounce back and move on. We don't move on from the experiences, I don't think. I think what we do is we put them into our memories, and the life experiences are the things that we carry with us through our lives. So I trust it's all an encouragement for you. So yeah, Blowing in the Wind, Live Aid 1985, Knocking on Heaven's Door, live version of that one as well. So I encourage you to look at both of those ones because it is Bob Dylan, and as I said, also included my video from last time as well. Well, if you've come back for another one, thank you very much. Or if it's your first time, welcome to the channel. It's great that you're here. And if you've got to the end of this video, yay, we love that. We really, really do. So I encourage you always when you click on one of my videos to, you know, just hang around a bit. Because we do cover some stuff which is kind of maybe interesting. I suppose it's up for you to decide, really. And just also note the invitation below that if you want me to have a look at a song, or you may just have an artist in your head and thinking, I just want a song by whoever, feel free to drop it in the comments and I will certainly have a look at it for you. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to go to a bygone era as we look at the iconic entertainer Al Jolson. So until then, I'll catch you around.